Hi there, welcome to this GEG Global event. We'll be getting started shortly. In the meantime, head over to the chat section and connect with other educators by introducing yourself. Share where you're from, what you do in education, and even your Twitter handle. And if you have any questions right away, go ahead and ask them there. And don't forget to click the subscribe button so you receive updates on any GEG Global events. Stay tuned, we'll get started shortly.
Hello.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to our Google DreamHouse session with some incredible presenters today. I think y'all are really going to enjoy this. I know I'm excited too. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Lexi, and let's go.
All right. I'm going to let Melissa throw her intro. Go for it, Melissa.
Well, I'm Melissa Summerford, and I'm an instructional tech, and I have to say, this girl, Lexi, you are going to love this session. She's full of energy. I saw her do this at TCA, and I was like, Lexi, you've got to do this on Global Gag. Lexi is also one of my GEG captains, and I'm so glad that she's on there because this girl, man, she can rock a house. So get ready. So, Lexi, why don't you go ahead and say a little bit about yourself?
Oh, no pressure there. Well, hello, everyone. I'm Lexi Law, and I am from Wichita Falls, Texas, where I'm an instructional technologist there. And so we're representing Texas today.
That's right.
I mean, no one wants to know about me. They want to know about the DreamHouse. So I'm just going to segue. So I have a presentation for you guys today, and it's called the Google DreamHouse. And so what it is if you are pretty good, like you're like, okay, Google basics, I'm solid. If you were to ask me to open up a Google slide, I've got it. If you ask me to write something in a Google Doc, I can do that too. This is going to be the presentation that if you are good, solid basics, this is like taking this just like one step further. I personally like to make things very pretty, and that's why I kind of went with this DreamHouse theme, because I like to make things look fancy and pretty.
That's right. And
pink. And pink. and so it's kind of, I'm going to teach you ways that not only to kind of up your Google game a little bit, but also we'll take some easier tasks too, just to kind of stop and make things pretty, because I think that's when I find when I do trainings, they're like, that was great, but like, how did you make your Gmail look like that? Like, I'm like, you didn't even listen to the lesson. So
because it's so pretty, Lexi.
So I have thrown some of those in there for you today, so that way you can make your life a little bit prettier as well. So, but yeah, so let's get to the DreamHouse, shall we? So I'm going to share.
And also tell them that you drew all of this too. You drew all of this presentation.
Okay,
I'm not going to not say that you didn't.
Okay, so at TCEA, where I presented this, I was in the Google room doing this. And I just, if you've ever been to that conference, it's just a little extra added. You're like, it's got to be, you're like, it's got to look good because it's going to be massive on a screen. So I decided I want something that looks different. So I did. I sketch noted all of this and put it in there for you guys. And so if you want to, here, let me share my screen. I have a bit.ly for you guys, so that way you can have access to this and you can kind of go through with me. So let me share my screen. All right. So let's see. DreamHouse. All right. Are you seeing it? Are we good?
Let's see. Almost there. There we go.
There we are. All right. Good deal. All right. So this is the DreamHouse. If you have little girls, then you totally got that reference.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So bit.ly/Google DreamHouse, and that is case sensitive. So that's a capital G for Google and a capital D for DreamHouse. And then you can see what I see. So before I start this presentation, I'm going to tell you kind of how this works and how I set this up. Okay, so this is a slide deck. Okay, and what it is we're going to go into each room. In each room, I have prepared a different app for you guys. So we're going to see when we go to the living room, we're going to work inside one app, and I'm going to teach you something new there. Then we're going to come back. So for example, here in a minute, I'm going to start in the living room. So when I click on the living room, it's going to give you instructions, but I might leave this because I'm going to show you how to do this. So once we're done here, all you have to do is just click and it's going to take you back to the DreamHouse. So that way we can go into a different room. So again, we're going to go into a room, talk about this app, show you something new. You click it, back to the DreamHouse, and then we'll go into a different room. So we're going to go into each of these. And like I said, each one will be a different Google app. Okay. So everybody ready?
I love how you have the elevator going up and down. That is so amazing.
Thank you. And because I already know that it's going to be the next question. All I did was in Google Slides, I made that elevator, and then each slide, what I did is I just moved the elevator. It's stop motion animation is basically what it is. And I just moved the elevator down a little bit and then back up a little bit. And then I threw those slides into a website called Tall Tweets, and that makes GIFs from Google Slides. And then I just added that GIF on there. That's all I did. And so that's not really in the presentation today, but whenever I presented this, that was all the tweets where it went like, we love the DreamHouse. Like, all I could do was wonder how that elevator moved. And so it's a GIF that I made in Google Slides that I put in Tall Tweets. Tall as in tall, tweets as in like Twitter, Tall Tweets. All right. Are we ready to go to the DreamHouse? All right.
Yes, I'm ready. I'm so excited.
Okay, here we go. So let's go into the living room, shall we? All right, so the theme for the living room is sites all living in one place. So something that I would highly recommend, we did this for all of our campuses, is that we made a Google site for all of our campuses, depending on what sites they frequent. Okay, so for example, if you click right here on this little purple icon, it's going to take you to an example of what we do with our kids. So this here on Google Sites is an image. It's just the logo that we found on the internet, and we linked it to ABCA. And so we have this bookmarked on every kindergartner's Chromebook. So they know whenever it's time for them to go to something. I mean, teachers, you feel me? Like whenever you're like, all right, guys, we're going to go to abca.com. And you're like, I don't know how to get there. And you're like, ABC. Yeah, I mean, you'd think that would be simple, but teachers understand. So they're like, that's not going to work out. It's going to crash and burn quick. So whenever it's bookmarked for them, then they would just click their bookmark up here in the bookmark bar. It would open this up, and then they could go in and click and go, find their little icon. We found this to be very successful for our grades. And so this is a great way for you to utilize Google Sites and have all your frequented sites all in one place for your kiddos.
That's an amazing idea.
Yep. And you can see here, there's no other pages. It's just one page. So there's no them navigating around. It's all just right here. And so just to show you how simple this is, I'm going to open up a, let me clean this up for you guys a little bit. All right. So if you will go to sites.new, and you can open up a brand new Google site. All right, so here's the site. So you would just name this, you title it websites. I mean, get creative, people, get creative, whatever floats your boat. All right, so let's say that I wanted to do ABCA. So I would just go in and I would Google ABCA logo, because I'm going to need a picture. So you just, take your pick. The options are endless. And so from right here, I can right click and I can hit copy image. I can go to my site. And now I'm not going to lie. Here's the little pro tip. You do have to push Control V and paste it. Control V. And now I have my ABC image. And I love this tool. I love Google Sites. And I always tell people, they're like, oh, a website, that sounds hard. And I'm like, I honestly, truthfully, I preach this. I really think that Google Sites has got to be in my top 2 easiest tools for teachers. They're just like, once you show them a few basics, they've got it. So it's a pretty user-friendly tool.
You're so right, Lexi. Yeah, I had my 3rd grade students were using this and building these all through just direction, and they take off with it. It's really easy. It's that easy.
Yes. And so, so here's my image, and all you have to do is right here, it gives a button for you. You just click right here on your insert link, and you can put abca.com, And then whenever you have this published, all your students do is click this picture, and it's going to take them to ABCA. I'm on my district internet, so it does all that good stuff. But it helps out our kids a lot. It helps out our kids a lot. So back to the DreamHouse. So that's what we do for our kiddos. So that's a little extra. So if you're like wanting a new way to use Google Sites, or you're like, gosh, it would just be so nice if I had a place for all the things my kids go to. Because if your district's like mine, we have quite a few programs that our kids frequent. So that's just a nice place to, put them all in one place. And it's just, it works for our kiddos. And it might work for yours too. Back to the DreamHouse. All right, living room. Check. All right. I'm going to go into the closet. That was always my favorite part of doll houses, were the closets.
Oh, yeah, those Barbie clothes.
Oh, yeah. All right, so here we go. We are going to dress up our Gmail. Ooh. So, it's the closet, right? I did try to theme these for you guys. So, dressing up Gmail. Here we go. So, this is how you make your Gmail pretty. All right, so we are going to open up a new tab and go to our Gmail. And I'm going to hide all my stuff, even though I know that you guys want to see it all. I'm just going to hide you from it. All right. So Gmail pretty. Now I made this image myself and downloaded it. So that's a whole nother, that is a whole training in itself. So just.
Ooh, we need to have you back for that.
Table that. Okay. But if you want a pretty one, all you have to do is go up to this cog up in the top. And then, it changed. All right. Right here is themes. Okay, so you can hit right here, view all. I'm doing this on the fly, guys. This is new stuff. This is new update. So right here, you pick your theme. I've rabbit holed you guys now. Like, you're done with my training. This is all you're going to be doing for the rest of it. So you can scroll through here and find you a nice little theme, and you will just click and select it. So let's, this one's kind of cute. You just click it, and ba-da, your theme has been born.
Wow, that was so easy to do.
It's so easy to do. So I'm going to put it back to my normal one. And then also there's some fun things down here where you can change if it's like too dark, you can blur it, make it a little bit more transparent, all that good stuff. So you can play with that to make it your aesthetic and the way that you want it to look. If you want it to be darker around your text, because mine's real light, you can see mine's real white. So you could click this and it would give the dark background behind it. So that way it's easier to read. So definitely go in and dress up that Gmail for sure. Again, that's up in the cog. And then you'll see here is themes kind of in the middle, and you can click view all and pick you a theme. Make it real pretty.
Nice.
So that's a nice one.
I'm going to have to go draw my own now. I like how you did that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I get asked a lot, like, how'd you get that on there? And I was like, oh, do you have 15 minutes? So, but the themes that are on there are still pretty good too. I use those a lot. All right, so dressed up the Gmail, looking pretty. Next room, roll into the bedroom. All right, time to hit the sheets. Yeah, see it?
I love that title.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I am. I tried real hard. All right, so now sheets is kind of, I'm not going to lie, I wish I was a sheets brain. I am not a sheets brain. And so when I made this, I wanted to give something to teachers that I would have used when I was in the classroom. And so, or something that I wish I knew how to do, because it seems like just recently within the last, 4 years, there's been a huge push with data driving instruction, and you have to have your data and you go into these meetings and you have to have it ready and it's color coordinated and it's a lot. It's a lot. And so I'm going to teach real quick how to do conditional formatting. And what that is it's like setting rules for your spreadsheet. So that way, if you put something in, like if you wanted every time a kid made an A on something, you wanted it to be green. And every time they had a B, you'd want it to be yellow. Anytime they failed, you want it to be red. You can set rules and you can format that so that whatever you input in, it changes it all. Because I was that teacher that would go in, I would click that cell and I would fill that cell with green.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
So did I.
Yeah. Yes. And so it was
Dang it.
a journey for me to, like, when someone finally showed this to me, I was like, "Oh my gosh, like my time has." So hopefully for those data people, this is good for you. Okay. All right. So if you are doing this with me or you just want to watch me, that's totally up to you. But you can, if you are inside this presentation, right here, this little green sheets icon, you can click and it's going to ask you to make a copy. And I've already got some data for you on there. So if you want to later come back to this YouTube video and watch this, you can. Okay. But for right now, I'm going to show you. So whatever you do, it totally up to you. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to format this. And so all you have to do is you have to select everything that you want to change color. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and select everything I got right here. Okay. So I've selected all of this data. And so what you're going to do is you are going to go to format and down to conditional formatting. And then you get this little toolbar that comes off to the side. And this is where you're going to tell it what to do. This is where you're going to set the rules. So let's see here. So I want that if this, if this is greater than, and I'm going to say 90%. All right. So if they made greater than a 90%, I don't really like that green. That's a winning green right there. That says I did it. I like that green. All right. So I just added a rule that says any number greater than 90. Well, you know what, math people, I know you're already going to get me for this. All right. So greater than 89, anything greater than 89, I want it to be green. Okay. So done with that rule. All right. So, and I love this. Are you ready? Bink. Add another rule. That's all I got to do. Add another rule. So now, but now it's going to get a little bit trickier. So now I'm going to click here and I want it to be between. Okay. So I want it between 79% and what did I do? 88%. Math is hard, guys. Math is hard. All right. So I want them to be yellow. Okay. And then I'm going to add another rule. And then anything between 0 and what is it? 78? Is that right? Nope, that's not right. I don't know. Math, guys. Math. Somebody help me. Scream from the peanut stand. We're gonna roll 78. We're gonna roll it. I'm gonna turn them red. That'll work. Oh, it worked. I still have yellow on there. We'll take it. Whatever your star scores are, or whatever your assessments. You know, there's always mastery, meets, approaches, did it meet. So whatever your colors are, everybody's got colors. We actually do masteries purple. I blew it. I'm sorry, but whatever your colors are, that's what you're gonna do here. Okay, so. Sweet. So we've got now, it's all colored. I did not have to go in and turn every single one of those a color, which is a win.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
What a time saver, Lexi.
Yes. And the next one I'll show you is you can add another rule and you can do if text contains, because a lot of times like, did they pass? Yes. Did they not? No. So if you wanted to, then you could do text contains and then you could type in the word yes. And if it's a yes, I want it to be green. Add another rule. If it says no, then I want it to be red. I don't know that I would show that data to my principal very proudly, but it's a lot of red. But
it's a lot of red.
but the win for me is I didn't have to change it all. So that, and then I would just click done. Okay. And so that is how you conditional format, and you can go in and you can make all your stuff and not have to change it all one by one. So that is conditional formatting in a nutshell.
Wow,
Can it do a million trillion other things? Yes. Does Lexi know how to do those? No. But I could do that. I can do that right there. I sure can. I executed that brilliantly.
That's a win right there.
Yes. And if you are a person who needs step-by-step instructions, here are what you do first, what you do second. It's all here on the slide and you can click it. It continues and I go all the way through everything I just showed you. All right, so I'm going to click again.
Nice.
Back to the DreamHouse. All right, so that was sheets. So now we're in the dining room. Here we go. All
Pull up a
right.
chair.
Pull up a chair. We're going to collaborate on a Google Doc. Okay, now I'm not going to lie. Google Docs was not my favorite. I was a tried and true use Google Slides girl. That was my jam. And then I moved from elementary to secondary land. And so I started teaching high school. And for the high school minds, they still like things to look pretty. Do not hear me wrong. They still like things to look nice. They still like things to look organized and pretty. But they didn't really need the fluff stuff. As elementary world, like, you feel me, you want it to be cute and you want to sell it and you want to rock it and it's got to look a certain way. That's just the name of the beast. But when I moved to secondary land, I moved to Google Docs. I really transitioned into Google Docs, but me being the extra person that I am, I had to find a way to kind of make it better for me. So I'm going to show you guys some exciting things that might make Google Docs become a little bit better for you. So let me get rid of this, clean it up a little bit. All right, so here I have a Google Doc. Okay, I have inserted a table here and I gave my people some instructions and I, kind of told them what I wanted to go in each box. It was just real organized. I taught education, so they had to plan a Halloween themed activity for Halloween. It was coming up. And so they had to tell me what the name was here and they had to tell me what materials that they were going to need to make this lesson. And then they have to write their script and tell me what everything was. So I could have given it to them just like this. I could have, but I'm extra. I know. I'm working on it. Okay. So
hey, you gotta make it pop. That's how I see it.
Yes. Okay. So the first thing that I do is I like to give it a header to make it look better. And so here's one for you that you may not have known, but you can insert Google Drawings into your Google Docs. So you can do it inside the doc and create from brand new on a Google Drawing, or if you made one already in Google Drawing, you can insert it in, which is awesome. So I've already made something that I'm going to insert. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Insert, down to Drawing, and then if you wanted to make something new, like you wanted to add a word art or make something real cute or whatever, you can make something new, or you can do From Drive. And since I've already created this, I'm going to hit From Drive. All right, so I'm going to put this, and it says link to source here. I just clicked on that Google Drawing and now it says link to source. And what this means is it's a live image. So if I'm going to change it on my Google Drawing, it will change it on my Google Doc. So I'm going to, for the time being, I'm going to leave it linked because I'm going to show you what that looks like. All right, so I have now inserted this Google Drawing as a header onto my activity. Okay, but let's say, you know what? I'm a Halloween kind of gal. I like Halloween, and I don't want it to just be Halloween. I want it to be spooky Halloween. That's how I want it to read, right? So I could go get my Google Drawing. I already have it here for you. All right, and right now it just says spooky, but like I said, I want it to say spooky. Is that spooky enough? Let's see. Is that just enough spooky for you? That is the perfect amount of spooky. All right, spooky. All right, so I've changed my Google Drawing that I inserted. When I go back to my Google Doc, if you look right here, now I have an update button. And so when I click this update button, dun, 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 it's going to say spooky. Wow. See?
I love that.
That's a little extra.
So you can do that and it'll update.
Yes. So if you ever have if you do things with dates and you need to change a date, you just go into that drawing and you change the date and it will update over here. All right. So yes, this looks good. It's cute. It's cute. But the extra, right? That's what we came here for today. So what I would then do is I would highlight this table and I'm going to fill this table's background with orange because it's Halloween. Okay. And the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to change the background color of my Google Doc. And everyone's like, this is where everyone's like, hold the phone. Why has no one shown me this? Are you ready? Hold on to your ninnies. This changes lives, people. File. Page set up at the bottom. It was here your whole life. It was there. Page color. Boom. And I'm going to make it black. Dun, da, da, da.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that. Now, that says
looks
Halloween activity right there. Okay. Oh, I see some. I've never done that. Yeah, girl. Yeah, girl. Changes your life. All right. The next thing is, and I would highly suggest using tables to organize what you want your kids to answer and fill in and where you want them to write. It's just my kids, they never were like, I don't know where you want me to put this. If I give them a blank doc, it's like I just shift them off to see. They're like, I don't even know how to row. It's hard. So having it here within a table is good to go. And the last thing I'll show you is this table here. I can highlight this, and then there's a little pencil right here, and this is what color you want the lines to be. So I'm going to make my lines white, and I'm going to thicken them up. Right here is the border width, and I'm going to thicken it up a little bit. I'm going to give it a 3. All right. So I mean, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. So this is kind of, I would just kind of jazz up. I would jazz up my Google Docs a little bit. And that's, I mean, I don't know. My kiddos liked it. They appreciated it, especially my secondary kids. They were like, oh, that was cool. And I'm like, yeah, you just wait. You're going to be making one of these here in a minute. So, but yeah, so that is how you spice up.
It just grabs their attention so much more.
Yes. I mean, I would way rather stare at that than a blank page for sure. So, but yeah, so that is your way to fancy up and spruce up, maybe a little extra something you didn't know about Google Docs. And so, but yeah, there you go. Google Docs. All right. So there you go. Let's see. 26 minutes in. Man, we are crushing it. All right. Bathroom. Are you ready for this? Don't forget to lock the door.
Oh, I can't wait.
So we are going to talk about password protecting your forms. And so what you're going to do is you are going to, let's say that you are going to assign a quiz and you are going to give it to all your kiddos. Well, we all know, let's say that you're a secondary teacher and you teach the same prep 6, 7 times, and you're going to give the same quiz to every single class. I mean, we're expected to be in the hallways for that passing period. So it's very hard to come in and then assign the quiz right before they're going to start. And then, I mean, it just eats up what little class time you do have by the time you take attendance and you do the norm. So Classroom has made it really easy where you can assign to everyone all at once in the morning and get it over with. But the thing is you have those kids who are going to go in and they're going to take that quiz during second period when they have you 5th. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to, so this might be something that for secondary or for elementary people, this might just be, which, I mean, some of you that are departmentalized, you do teach 4 preps. So it might help you with that. You could also use this on breakouts. They have to figure out a code in order to get to the questions or whatever it may be. But I'm going to teach you real quick how to password protect your forms. Okay. So I'm going to open up a new tab and I'm going to type in forms.new, open up a new Google form. And then I'm just going to write this as practice with password. All right. So once you have your first question here, you can then I just write password. And then Google is so smart that it automatically tries to guess what you're doing, which is amazing because it takes steps away from you trying to figure it out. So what we're doing is we're using something called response validation. And what it is whenever you do what it wants you to do, then it's going to let you proceed. So I'm going to you can make it a number, you can make it a word. I mean, the options are endless. So, but for this training, I'm going to just put text and it's going to contain the word Lexi. Okay. And then I am going to because this is the password, I'm going to add a section. Okay. So what it is you have to do this before you can do this. Okay. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what this looks like. All right, so right now it says practice with password. Now, you have to, on this form, give a custom text error. Right now, I have purposefully left that blank because I'm going to show you why. So in your preview, if I put in my password, and let's say that I type Melissa is my password, and I push enter, it's going to say, oh, no, it must contain Lexi. So it's going to give them the password. So rookie mistake. If someone made that mistake, don't make my mistake. Make sure that you have something in that custom text error message. Okay, so let's go ahead and X this out. Let's go back. And I'm that mean teacher. I usually write like, nope, or like, but you could write hints like, oh, it starts with an L or whatever. You could do whatever you wanted here. So I'm going to write, whoops. All right. So
or
now,
wait for class to start
yeah,
because you don't let them take it.
absolutely. And so you would put your questions to your quiz here. Okay. So now whenever my kids see it, it's now going to say whenever I type the wrong Lisa, shout out to Lisa, and I push off, it's not going to say whoops instead of, hey, make sure you type Lexi and continue on. So that is how you add a password to the beginning, because they have to get that right. So when they click next, it will take them to their quiz. Okay.
Wow, I would have never thought about that for junior high kids because they probably will go take it early if they know that you released it. That's a great idea.
Yes. And so that helps a lot. Or if you share things a lot with your teachers, if you're like, yeah, you can use this or use that, being able to like password protect things so that way you're not getting all their data, that helps. So, but yes, so that is lock. Don't forget to lock the door. Password protect. Oh, I got to show you this one. This one was my life changer for forms. It's setting, let me go back. Forms.new. All right, up here. And I'm nervous now. I'm like, they may have moved it. All right, so 3 dots. Right here down to where it says preferences. Are you ready for this? This blew my mind. You can default your quiz point value to whatever you want.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then it defaults it. So as you're making your questions, it'll make them all that way. You don't have to go click and you have to select them all, each one, and go to every point or whatever. You can select and default those points and click save. And then as you're making those questions, it'll default them to that point value.
That's nice.
That one was huge. I was like, oh my God, where has that been?
Because I would always go in and put it in each one.
Yeah. All right, let's go back. And then I'm like, wait, I have 10 questions and that only equals 80. I'm like, oh, that's not good. Again, math. So that one is good. So one more time for you guys. That's your 3 dots up by your icon down to preferences. And default quiz point value, turn that on and give it a value. So that way, every time you make a question, it will default that for you. So nice. All right. Back to the DreamHouse. All right. Now we're cooking in the kitchen. Let's cooking up some greatness with Google Slides. All right. We're all going back to school. It's looking a little crazy right now. But for most people, and I realize that we're global, but at least where I am, we have to offer some sort of digital learning for the students who will not be returning. So that is going to look differently for a lot of people this year. And so I think this trick is really going to help you guys with making digital assignments for your kids, because we all know when we give a Google Slides and we give images and all of that, they click and they delete the instructions and they move things around. And then they're like, I don't know what happened. And then they've just gone so far. You're like, oh my gosh, like, oh, I don't even know if version history can repair this. So it can get a little crazy. So what I'm going to do, and I like to explain this first before I show what you're going to do, or what I'm going to have you, or I guess I'll show you. You can do it whenever you want. But you are going to make like what I call the bones of the assignment in Google Slides. And you are going to make it look exactly how you want it to look and all the things that you don't want your kids to be able to delete. Okay. Then what we're going to do is when you have that on a Google slide, we're going to turn that Google slide into an image. We're going to turn it into a JPEG. So it's a picture. Okay. So we're going to make that slide into a picture. And then we're going to make the background an image, and we're going to make it that one. So that way it's locked in the back and they cannot change it. Then you can put text boxes over it and have them type on top of that image, or you can have them you can copy and paste some pictures that they might drag or whatever that might be. So that's what we're doing. We are going to make the bones of an assignment. We are going to make it a JPEG image, and then we're going to set it as the background image in a Google slide. That way our kids cannot delete it. All right. Amazing. Now that I have prefaced that, let's see what that looks like. Okay. So let me pull this over for you guys. All right. So right here, I have made the bones of my assignment. You can see here, I made this with a text box. I have some shapes that are just a square. Another text box. So you can definitely, this is not, you can totally do this. And these are lines. Okay. Text boxes, squares, and lines. That's it. Nothing crazy. Okay. So this is all the stuff that I don't want my kids to accidentally delete. So this is good. This is what I would call the bones. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to, now that this is all good to go, I am going to go to File, Download, and then right here, it gives you a bunch of options how you're going to download this. And I'm going to download it as a JPEG image. Okay. And whatever slide that you have selected, like say I had multiple slides here, whatever one that I have and it's selected and it's yellow, that's the one it's going to turn into a JPEG. So on number 1, I have it selected. I went to File and Download as a JPEG. If you're on a Chromebook, it's going to automatically throw that into your Google Drive. So you would just then upload that image from your Google Drive. If you're on a MacBook, desktop, laptop, it's going to do just like it did for me because I am on a desktop. And it's going to drop it down here to this bottom left corner. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to insert a new slide. And just in case, because if you're like me, and I would always hit this plus sign, but then it gave me all this and I'd have to go in, I'd have to delete this out every time. And that is obnoxious. So a nice little trick is right here next to the plus sign is a pull down, and you can click on this pull down and the very last option is blank. So you can just click this blank Google slide. All right. So now that I have my picture, I want to lock it in. Then they cannot go in, delete it, and make it all crazy, cause crazy chaos.
You're right about that. I've been there. I've done that.
Fast.
I know it does. Fast. You're like, oh my gosh. Like you start freaking out because you're like, what do I do?
Yeah. I could go back and I could put that in there for you. So we don't want that. We're going to prevent that right now. So we're going to go to background right here in your toolbar. And right here, it gives you the option for image. So we're going to choose the image we want. Now, again, if you're on a Chromebook, you would go to your Google Drive and you would find this. So right here's your Google Drive button. I can click on it. Google Drive. So you would just go and find that image in your Google Drive. But for me, since I'm on a desktop, are y'all ready for this? I showed this to somebody that they're like, oh. All right. Right here in my bottom left where it's downloaded to, I'm just going to click it, hold it, drag it. You ready? Click, hold, drag.
Shut the front door. I did not know that.
Oh, yeah, girl. Yeah, girl.
Oh, my gosh. I go put it in the folder, get it from the... You just took out a lot of steps for me. Oh, my goodness. I love that.
I hope that was new for a lot of you. That's a good one to have. And you can also do that with your drive. Like if you download something, you can open up your drive. I'm going to click done. I'll just do that for you real quick. Side note, you could open a tab and open up your Google Drive. I'm nervous. What's it look like? Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's tame. And then you can also click and drag this up into your Google Drive as well. So now that image is in my Google Drive.
I think I do way too many steps. Like when I work with my friend Brooke, she's like, why are you doing all those steps? Because I'm used to it.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with all these steps. So just heads up, if that was new for you guys, then now you're ready. You haven't now you can be the cool kid and say, oh, why are you doing it like that? Like that's so last week. Okay, so now let me show you the difference. So this is the one with the background that I've set. So now you can see my kids cannot click on any of this. Okay, so that I can now go in, let's say that I want them to, I go and I search for sand. I want a picture of sand. I'm nervous. I'm always like, what's gonna show up? I'm gonna go with clip art. Let's say I want this picture of sand. So I'm gonna bring him over. Oh, he's not transparent, but it's all right. I'll get over it for today. All right, so I would want some, I'd maybe pull a picture of some sand and I'd put it here. So that way my students, they would have to be like, sand plus water equals not soluble. And they could drag the pictures and I could check for understanding.
Wow.
So yes, so that is setting the background image. So that way your kids cannot destroy your work. So that's I hope that was new for somebody.
Oh,
That's a good one.
they're gonna love. This is perfect for these interactive digital sheets that we've got to have to push
Yes.
out. For
And
now.
it might be just on a slide. Like, let's say you have a bell ringer or something, and you just want to put on here a guided question. You could just insert a text box here and put a guided question and turn that into an image and set it. And then you could just drag a text box over, the spot where you want them to type an answer, and they type over it. So there's a lot of things that you can do. You can make slides images by going through the master slides as well. Yes. Yes, you could. And like most of my kids, I just would go back to the revision history. I would tell them right here where it says last edit was a second ago. You can click here, and a lot of times you can take it back. This is all the things I've done. I mean, it's time lapse right there. So I can go in and I can click on this to any time and restore it back to the way it was for my kids. I do that a lot for my kiddos when they do something and it's past the point of the undo button, when you're like undo, 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 and it's still not fixing it. Then you can click there and restore the version of history that goes back to where before they messed it all up. But hopefully this trick will help with that. So that is setting the background image. Boom.
Love it.
All right. Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. All right. Here's another easy one. This is an easy one. We'll take a break. Those are a little heavy. All right. Let's go to the drive. Let's go to the garage. We're going to drive in the garage. Here we go. So in Google Drive, let me get rid of some stuff. All right. Let me open up my drive. All right. So what we're going to do is here's a few tips for you guys inside Google Drive. Okay. So the first one I'm going to show you is changing the folder color. So what's going to happen is right now I have just a boring gray, what it comes with when I make a folder. Okay. But in my job, I make a ton of Screencastify videos and I need to be able to find that folder quickly. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. I just burped for everybody. Excuse me.
How many Dr. Peppers have you had?
Girl, you don't even want to know. It's been a day. It has been a day. All right. But I frequent my Screencastify folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on my Screencastify folder and go down to the option that says change color. So I'm going to make this red so that it stands out. And anytime that I'm looking for that specific folder, I'm just looking for the red one. Some people, like if your school color's purple, they make them all purple. And then the one they want to stand out, they make yellow or whatever, whatever you do, whatever you want. I did have them rainbow for the longest time because I loved when they would stack up over here. They would be all rainbow and I loved it. And so, but I do so many trainings where I show this trick. So I have to just keep mine gray because it's a burden. It's a burden I bear, but it's fine. So that is one way that you can kind of help make your Google Drive maybe a little bit easier for you. So that way you can find things quickly. English wasn't my thing. Sorry, English teachers. All right. The next one is, a lot of people don't know this is here, but there's the starred feature, okay? And this is for files that you use often. So if there's data that you always have to pull up and quickly get to or whatever, inside your drive, if you look right here on the sidebar, it says starred right here. And when I click this, these are all the things that I've starred, and it's all the presentations that I do. So I can quickly, when teachers are like, what was the link to that? Whatever. I can quickly go and be like, there it is. Okay, it's this. And so anything that I frequent, I star. And so what I would do with that is in your drive, let's say that I use this data sheet. We do this all the time. This is what we're looking at. You can right click on this on this sheet or file, doc, whatever it is that you want to star, and you just right here, add to starred. And so you click it. And now whenever you're like, where I need to quickly get to that, you can go to starred and then you can see it there. Here's my data sheet. It's in the starred. So some people
my
are like, oh
goodness.
my God, well, I kind of knew it was there, but I never really utilized it because I didn't ever think of how I would utilize it. So anything that you use a ton, make sure that, you can star that, and that's an easy way to get to things.
Hey, Lexi, guess what Melissa does? She opens it up and then goes to the star on the.
That's, it happens. It's okay. It happens to all of us.
I love this.
So that's a
You
nice
know.
one. The next cool tip and trick I'll show you is sometimes, like whenever you want to, you have a folder that you frequent a lot. Like for example, like mine is tech. This is all my technology stuff that I ever need for my job. I push into this folder. If I open this, you guys will cringe. But that folder starts with a T. So it was always down at the bottom. And so I wanted it to be at the top because it's my most used folder. So what you can do, let's see, I'm going to go, what's one that doesn't look crazy? Which one do I want to do? Let's go to, oh my gosh, I have no good option. Let's go to stuff. I want stuff to move towards the top. Okay. So what you can do is you can right click on this and click rename. Now, in front of rename, if you put something like a hashtag, it will move it up to the top. But here's your little fancy tip. What I like to do is I like to, in front of the word stuff, because I couldn't think of what else to call this folder, you're going to right click, and you see here at the top, you have an option for an emoji. Okay, so you can click emoji, and then you can pick whatever emoji you want for stuff. I'm just going to, well, that one's not fun. That's not fun.
Is there a
I don't want
lipstick
that.
one? I know there's a lipstick one.
Oh, there's got to be. There's lips. But you can go, I mean, your options are endless. I mean, you can have a pig nose. I mean, who knew? You could, so go through and whatever stuff looks like, red balloon sounds good. That's stuff. Oh, there we go. Pumpkin. That balloon pumpkin stuff right there. So when I hit OK, it's now going to move it to the top. Okay, so my most frequented one now is moved to the top. So I don't have to go, because they're alphabetical, but I always am like, I still look for it. But now when I give my most recent one or my most frequented ones, I give them an emoji so it pushes them to the top. So I
love how you did that too. Like your folders that's where you contain all your folders. Cause I feel like I make folder, and then I'm still lost finding it. So I like how you organize it a little bit more by putting all your stuff in one folder, like your technology one. That's
if I open that folder, you will be terrified.
But that's what my drive
It looks like I have it all together. I mean, I am putting on a show for you guys because if I open these folders, y'all would go, oh, she's not as organized as I thought.
But it looks so organized by just putting one folder and then sticking them all in there. That's awesome.
Well, thank you. I do try, kind of.
I'm going to have to go fix mine.
Yeah. All right. So now so those are some ways that you can kind of in your Google Drive kind of up your game a little bit. And that's a nice party trick. Like when you're at professional development, y'all are all over it. You're like, hey, did you know you can color your folders? Let me show you how to do that. So you can be the cool kid at the table and derail everybody from what they're supposed to be doing. It's great. All right. So the next one I'm going to do, let's go out to the yard. All right. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, but it is like when somebody told me this, I was like, oh my gosh, like this just kind of really, my Google world opened because not only can I do what I'm about to show you in drawing, but I can do it in slides. I can do it in you can do it anywhere there's a gray space. And so a lot of times when I would give kids assignments, I would try to squish all the instructions on there, and then it gave them no room to work. And so then I went to a training with TCEA. I went to and they had told us, put all your instructions in the gray space out to the side and all your objects. And then they have that full canvas to be able to go in and utilize. And they can, make or draw or whatever it is that you're wanting them to do on that. And I was just like, my mind was absolutely blown. And so if you are following along with me and you have this open, you can actually click this right here. And maybe not. Hold on. Maybe that's not where I linked it. There it is. I clicked the icon. This one is overwhelming. Do not ask me why I picked this one to show you, but they utilize that green space or that gray space. Look at that. So they have all their parts out here, and then they have that whole canvas to work. So although whoever took the time to do this is the real champion of this whole training, but it is, I mean, I just wanted, that's a big visual. I mean, look at all that gray space that you can use to give instructions or put things for them to move or whatever it may be, but utilizing that gray space is huge. Give your kids that full canvas to work. So that one blew my mind when I saw that. I was like, skirt. Okay, I got to do that. So like I said, I won't spend a ton of time on that. Or if you have like digital card sorts, I mean, you could put all the pictures out to the side and the words are all on the canvas and they're dragging those pictures over or whatever it may be, but utilize that gray space. It's fantastic. So back to the dream house. All right, we're getting close. We have the elevator. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, the elevator. Okay, the elevator. Elevate your Google Classroom. Okay. If you are using Google Classroom for your kiddos, there's just a few things in here. I'm just going to show you how to just two simple things, and then we'll be wrapping this up. All right, so I'm going to go open my Google Classroom. God help us. I already have one open. There we go. That one, I'll save y'all from the crazy. All right, so when you're creating an assignment, make sure you give it a topic because that's going to help just organize the way that your Google Classroom is lined up. Because I'm sure you've probably noticed, like, as you're assigning things, it's just like, and it's like, oh, like kids get very overwhelmed, especially if you are self-contained and you teach tons of subjects. So you'd want to make sure that you're adding a topic that reading and you're putting all your reading under reading. Or if you are doing, I had a teacher, or she actually is now my right-hand lady, Julie Yandel. You can follow her at Yandel's place. But she did her topics for stations. Like, so she had station 1, and every day she would topic those out. So that way the kids could then click that topic and get that work for that station. So, topics you can do a million different ways. You can do it by secondary people. You can do it by your units. This is all unit 1 work and material. So using those topics is just going to make that look more organized. The next thing I would show you is one thing that blew my mind is that in topics, you can name them with emojis. And so like your English language learners and all of that, if you wanted to add an image next to, if you wanted to find a math emoji for your math and you wanted to have a book for reading, so you can add those for your topics. So all you do is in Classroom, I'm in the classwork tab. When you enter it, you're in the stream. And now I'm in classwork. Okay. And so you're going to go to create and you're going to create an assignment. Out to the right-hand side right here, you now see that there is a topic and it says that there's not one. So when I click this pull down, it's going to give me the option to create a topic. So I'm going to create one for you. And I'm going to, just like when I was in my Drive folders, I'm going to right click and I have that emoji option. So I'm going to name this, oh gosh, I should have had one ready for you guys. We wouldn't teach about sushi. maybe world cultures, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, y'all can go in on your time. Y'all can find which one suits you best. I'm always nervous. I'm like, what's it going to be down there? Let's show this live. It'll be great. Okay. There you go. There's the books. I'm like, God, where's the books? All right. So I'm going to have a book and I'm going to name this reading. Oh, it's trying to do my bit. Oh, sorry. Okay. Reading. Okay. So now I have this topic for this assignment. You can also, in your title of your assignments, so when you're littles, you're going to say, guys, today we're going to do the balloon assignment. And it's easier for them to see the balloon than unit 1, front sounds or whatever. So that you might say, go click on the balloon. It just might help them point a reference like, this is what I'm clicking on. So images can help with that as well. So we'll call this heart. All right, I'm just going to assign this for now so you can see what this looks like. All right, so in reading, and reading, we're going to go do the hard assignment or whatever.
Mhm.
So that's just a little extra tip for your English language, or if you have babies, all the littles.
That is
And
perfect for
and
them.
yes, it's because I mean, I help with Google and I think Google Classroom is an amazing tool. And I have seen pre-K kinder, first grade teachers completely rock Google Classroom with their kids. But I also think knowing a few little things like this helps just with classroom management and getting, kids see images. When you say, click on the one that says this, they're like, click where? But you say, find the red balloon. And they're like,
And they will.
yeah, they will. They'll find that balloon. So let's see. Do I have anything else on there? I think that's it. I think that's what I put on there. All right. So, oh my gosh, guys, we did it. We have toured the entire Google DreamHouse. So the last thing that I have here is my contact information. So I'll just click on this. And so if you want to get in contact with me, you can follow me on Twitter and you can direct message me there. You can also, I have a website that has some tips and tricks and stuff on there as well. And then this is my email address. So if you are questions or you need help with something, or you have something that you need to reach out to me about, then you can reach me there at lexilynnlaw@gmail.com. And again, I'm at Twitter at LexiLynnLaw. So that is my contact
Awesome.
info. But that's it. The whole dream house.
I told y'all she is amazing. You should see her live. Oh my goodness, this lady has a bunch of energy, and she's just amazing to watch. I love working with Lexi and seeing her showcase what she does with kids, because she really does have that engagement piece that gets kids excited. Thank you, Lexi, for agreeing to do this so much.
Oh, you are so welcome. Thank you for asking me. It's been a blast. I love being part of the Global Gag and being part of Texas and our Google Educator group. It's been a lot of fun. So thank you for having me and asking me to be part of this. This has been so much fun. I hope everybody learned something new today.
Oh yeah, I did. Oh my gosh, I've never done all those steps when I download an image.
Yeah, I think everybody in the chat, their mind is absolutely blown with what you've shown them tonight.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yes.
With the unknown coming up, I hope that I helped ease a little bit for you guys. But yeah, that's it.
Definitely not. Thank you so much, Lexi.
You're welcome.
So since we are coming to the close, I want to remind everybody, click subscribe for YouTube so you can stay in touch with us and see what upcoming events we have. So speaking of upcoming events, Melissa has one tomorrow that you definitely don't want to miss. I will let her talk about that for a second. Let me get all of us off of here so we can see her great graphic we got.
Hey, it's me, the whole screen. So if you saw that, if you know who Meredith Akers is, she has agreed to come on tomorrow. So you will, she is a principal in Sci-Fair, and she has so many ideas. So she's going to talk about differentiated playlists and checklists. I'm going to share some of the ones that I did in my classroom, and she's going to share like what she does with her school and her classroom. So it's going to be amazing. So go follow her now, start following her now on Twitter, and you'll already see the ideas, but you can't miss her session. She's amazing.
Yes, and there's the bit.ly at the bottom. We'll go drop that in the chat as well if you want to sign up for it. And also, speaking of upcoming events, we have, if you are preparing for your Level 2 Google Certified Educator certification, bootcamp starts tomorrow.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bright and early.
It's bright and early, it does, but it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing what you learn there.
Patrick, who's down here, Patrick and I will be presenting tomorrow over slides. So, Patrick, where are you, Patrick? But yes,
we'll
Patrick,
put him in.
Yep, calling out Patrick.
Yes. So we'll put those links in the chat. And thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Thank you, Lexi, again.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.